his resignation. But Minister in the presidency, Monzi Kungumele, says the opposition should stick to facts, saying the country was addressing its challenges.
Where we are sitting as we speak now, there is, under the leadership of this president, acceleration of procurement of energy from renewables, from
Chief Whip, saying the joint rules of Parliament should come into effect. While on that, the eyewitness news.
Bona rabusa go Haiti ki go ai.
Etaba.
Kaulimo.
Yeah.
Oh. Where's the Granite?
Something else.
Oh, it's
multi-award-winning
Look
hip-hop
at
artist,
the company.
oh, yes. By the way, I want to Granite. What do you want?
So there's a funeral on Saturday.
Hey.
A short while ago.
What happened to my child? Also,
The rest of the memorial service will take place on Friday at the Santon Convention Center. The 35-year-old artist was alongside his former manager and close friend grieving fans across the continent have continued to pay tribute to the iconic figure for his contribution.
Why was that Dunswart can't be fan? Get right. No, I was only Dunswart. Get right. But I get with someone. Now to get him or get him all. He come outside the account.
I can find my thumb.
But hurry up, I'm going to measure up what happened. I'm going to go. I did
Popular nightlife according to CCTV.
No, come on, I can not go so, but I'm not a sorry. It's one for the young high.
And memorial service will be announced. The rapper celebrated his 35th birthday of his newest album, Last Country.
So I want to education now. What is it? I want to go high. I want to
But 17-year-old
Marumo.
Masikane's body has been found after he went missing on New Year's Day. A picture of Masikane has been circulating on social media, with his family asking for help since the beginning of this year. Police say they found a boy hanging from a tree in Rustenburg. Northwest Police spokesperson Dormehl says DNA results revealed that the body is that of a 17-year-old.
The body was in a decomposed state. No foul play is at this stage suspected. I can also confirm that DNA results taken from this body confirmed the identity of this person.
And the World Health Organization says the massive earthquake that struck Turkey and Syria is the worst natural disaster in 100 years in its Euro region. 7.8 magnitude quake followed by a major aftershock has now killed more than 35,000 people in both nations. Speaking at a briefing earlier today, WHO Director Hans Kluge says the health body has initiated its largest deployment of emergency medical teams in the 75-year history of the European region. Gold is trading at $1,861.10 an ounce. The rand's at 17.79 to the dollar, 21.73 to the pound, and to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $85.75 a barrel.
And in the traffic in Lombardy, traffic is sluggish along Graham Linwood Road, approaching Solomon Mahlangu. While traveling in Sharon Lee, expect delays on the Malibongwe Drive between Bel Airs and the N1. In US sports, Chloe Tyrant becomes 7th South Africa player to complete 1,000 runs as Proteas ladies beat New Zealand at the T20 World Cup. Agria Snyman edges closer to a return for Munster, and Cody Gapco relieved to break Liverpool duck the 7th time of asking.
Gauteng has been cloudy today with scattered showers and thunder showers. Temperatures having peaked at highs of between 27 and 28 degrees. The top story in Eyewitness News this hour.
Eyewitness News in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, log on to ewn.co.za.
Inside. Put it. But I'm going to simple.
Okay.
No, what am I going to do? Let her go back. No, not that. That's
working under you. You are a man on top and doing nothing. And that is very irresponsible of a man to be on top and do nothing.
Members of Parliament are at each other's throats in a heated debate over last week's State of the Nation address. Babalo Ndenze has the latest on that in a moment. How do you know when a teenager is suicidal and not just sad? How do you get the young person in your life to talk to you? As we mark Teen Suicide Week, we'll get some answers to these questions from the organization Compassionate Friends. We'll talk to them at 4:10. Many of our worst nightmares these days happen while we are wide awake, I'm afraid. But people in Gauteng, if Google is anything to go by, have a question about their sleeping dreams.
Dreams are like personal letters from the subconscious mind. Events and emotions in your waking life trigger your dreams. If you repeatedly have the same dream, your subconscious is trying to send you a message.
Well, I don't know what message they're trying to send to people in Gauteng, but according to the Good Things guy, the search engine recorded a huge surge from Gauteng in particular, people asking this question: why do I keep dreaming about my ex? Just in time for Valentine's Day, you see. What recurring dreams do you have, and have you figured out what they mean? Give us a call on 011 883 0702 or send us a WhatsApp to 072 702 1702. In other stories, we'll hear about the destruction of a gold mine era heritage building in southwest Joburg. We'll talk about that to Flo Bird from the National Heritage Foundation. She's joining us in about 15 minutes' time. Some people are turning to bodyguards to keep them safe, but how do they know for sure that these guards actually know what they're doing? We'll talk about that after 5 with Cameron Riley, who's with the company Sixth Sense Security. And we'll have 2 more rounds of the Discount Brain of 702 for you, the first in about 30 minutes' time. It's great to have you with us on 702 Drive.
Let's
walk the talk.
Dus voor de warm je missie te verder vanaf. Dat we maar tot aan het weten dat je dat doet.
Hij indicate you indicate.
En dan toch even.
Joining us with the details at 28 minutes past 4. Tola Kelemganga has the latest sports news on Ramila has the traffic. She's with us shortly. Matapelo Molo is back. More news headlines at 3:30. Great to be with us.
702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
Decent sized chunk of the state of the nation debate around the state of the nation address. And what I mainly heard was people talking about what a bad speech was delivered by the president, what a bad president the president
and so I get in shocking.
And I'm keen to know watching or might catch it on the news later, or you can see Matapelo Moloy's the news bulletin.
Yeah,
Are you interested in what other parties do bad?
Okay.
By people tearing strips off the incumbents and the people who are currently in charge, all much more interested in hearing a set of other ideas about how they might do things differently. What works for you and what might be swaying you in regard to going into X come 2020. 13 minutes past.
John Perlman
On 702.
3 to 6 p.m.
Well, that State of the Nation address is currently underway. Papalo Ndenze, EW and parliamentary report has been providing coverage throughout the day. We've heard what John Steenhuisen had to say. You heard a little bit there of the EFF, the third biggest party, Freedom Fighters, Julius Malema, his comments. And then there was a lot of sparring that went on, particularly between Police Minister Bheki Cele and a couple of members of the EFF. General Secretary of the party. So let's catch up with what's happened over the last couple of hours with Babalo. Babalo, welcome and thanks for giving us your time on the show. Tell us exactly what has happened over the last hour, please. I mean, are we still having lots of interruptions, lots of fireworks?
Not as many, thank you, John, but not as many interruptions as we saw in the opening session this morning. For example, when the EFF leader, Julius Malema, took to the podium, members of the ANC caucus, raised a number of points of order, basically, maybe it was payback for last week's disruptions when the president was taking the speech. But that was really lost, Malema was eventually allowed to deliver his speech, where he criticized the president and the power crisis, basically calling for his resignation, also targeting, the police minister, Bheki Cele, and the crime situation, as well as accusing him or casting aspersions on the minister about, threats on Marshal Dlamini's life as the party secretary, and also, labeling him, a certified fool, which was, responded what was based on that, and Malema was eventually told to withdraw that statement. But we've also heard from, Minister Gwede Mantashe, for example, who touched on the power crisis, but he says the solutions that the president tabled last week are, different solvable crisis, and the solutions that will go forward are part of the solution, like, for example, the appointment of the Minister of Electricity and the declaration of a state of disaster. Bantu Lemisa also joined in, that debate, also focusing a lot of energy on the energy crisis. But some members of the ANC did come to the president's defense, John. For example, like the Minister of Trade, Competition and Industry, Ibrahim Patel, as well as the Minister of the Presidency, Roy Dormehl, who also said that the president has done all that is possible, especially with this power crisis, and members just need to basically stick to the facts and also, note that there are some improvements happening, for example, in the economy, which was improved slightly from the end of last year.
So, Babalo, the bits I heard a bit of Peter Groenewald, I heard John Steenhuisen, I mentioned Julius Malema, Bantu Holomisa. Is my impression correct that people are actually already doing some electioneering, which maybe sort of counters the point that I was making earlier, that there's a bit of time, too much time perhaps in listeners' views and voters' views, talking about what's wrong with the ANC. There's some electioneering going on to India. Issues that are affecting the country, the challenges as part of this election, the DA did mention 2024. And how these issues that are plaguing the country, like the power crisis, should be enough reason for that, because, different alternatives come 2024. Members of the ANC also trying to convince those watching on the system that the ANC is still a better alternative despite all the challenges. So a little electioneering, no matter who they have, that could work for the country.
And I think it's more information continue this afternoon as well as tomorrow, John.
Thanks so much, Babalo and Denze, EWN reporter live from Cape Town. It's 18 minutes past 3.
EWN traffic.
Yes,
I'm Ramila watching the roads.
Yeah.
Roads, guys, not too much rain. I don't want to hex things, but maybe.
I would have loved to start my report off saying, good afternoon, nothing major has been reported, but we've got an accident reported already on M1 North. It's right in the middle of the interchange. It's coming out of Grace to the drive. All the traffic is forward. You've seen some lanes are not
I can if it's right, it's a 19.
We also
I can go back and go coming. Save it. I come back and go coming sabo.
News.
I go come with him.
This is what you need to know.
This is 702.
I was saving the way.
So one response to dreams and dreaming about your exes. Dave says, John may be dreaming about our exes. Is our subconscious reminding us that her times are tough? They could be far worse. That's one kind of ex dream, I would suggest. But some of those dreams can be dreams of longing, eh? Real dreams of sadness and I miss you. But anyway, tell us, what kind of dreams do you have? You have recurring dreams. We'll talk about them a little bit later. But you can give us a call on that right now. 011-883-0702 and 072-702-1702. Seems like the SA tourism issue, by the way, continues to bubble along. You heard in the bulletin earlier with Martin Pello that they have suspended the acting chief financial officer for his an agency identified in the sponsorship proposal to English Premier League side Tottenham Hotspur. I mean, shouldn't all this stuff get dealt with when people are hired? Yes, you could say, well, they're acting now. It's a suspension and a sense of great busyness and all that, but does this not come up when people are hired? I mean, I sit on a board. We meet 6 times a year. We're a small NGO. The first order of business every day in the board meeting is declarations of conflicts of interest. And they very seldom are because of the nature of our work. Small NGO, everybody's putting in their time voluntarily. But it really is the first order of business. Now, is that standard practice for boards? Because those of you who sit on boards, companies large or small, non-profit organizations, government entities and so on, isn't this put on the table straight away? Declarations of interest. And then if the person amongst them and others say no declarations of interest, then, how much of an investigation do you need to do? They obviously weren't being straight. Anyway, it will all emerge, but I'm really struck by the heavy weather that is made of all these things. I know there are rules of natural justice and all that, but boy, you should be able to get to the facts fast. 21 minutes past 3.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
Well, facts are going to have to be established in this particular matter. According to the National Heritage Foundation, the old Crown Mines offices, they're out on the west side of Joburg. You may know them. Press Avenue, I don't know if Edcon are still out there, but they had big offices there. Press named after the Edgar's founder, the late Sydney Press, I think. Main Reef Road, everybody knows the area pretty well. Crown Reef, Ranglachte Deep, and other parts of the very old part of Johannesburg and its mining history. Well, this is a declared national monument. It's a provincial heritage site. It reflects a very particular part of the city's history, and an old one at that. It has been, by all accounts, severely damaged, and in fact it's being demolished. So what's going on? Flowbird is from the National Heritage Foundation, who alerted us to this development, or shall I call it this destruction. and she joins us now on 702 Drive. Ms. Bird, welcome, and thanks very much for your time. Before we talk about the law and what you're saying, tell us about the building and why it matters. Believed, declared a national monument, as I understand it, as far back as 1989.
Yes, that's correct. And the agreement of the owner, because they realized its tremendous significance and they needed to be prepared. I mean, mining in Johannesburg is certainly the most important part of the community. It's not just ignore mining just because we stopped actual mining operations in the city. But anyway, so this was declared. It was a very pretty collection of buildings that had been erected in about 1909. They were big buildings, all just single story, but with gardens in between sections. And I'm absolutely glad about it, to be honest. Mona Lisa.
Yes.
Now, in developed in 1897, I think it was,
right,
about how the lady broke down the railway road and there were all these chimneys. Now, of course, this was our one and only death.
Right.
And they're not just being pulverized. It isn't actually a whole brick of the site.
Yeah.
It's a little building, but it's a much later building because of the visitors, increase.
So I want to get Flo Bird on a better line. We're getting some of it. We're not getting it as loud and clear as we'd like to. We'll call her back and we'll continue with that conversation in just a moment. I asked you about recurring dreams. I asked, puzzled, I think, as many people are, with the particular Gauteng fascination with Googling this sentence. Why do I keep dreaming of my ex? Here's somebody who's got a view.
702. WhatsApp John
on 072
702
1702.
Hi, John. This conversation is hectic, and I don't want to be single on Valentine's Day. But I will admit that I recently had a dream of two of my exes in one dream, but they say a dream is 12 seconds. So right, in one dream there was one ex, and we were dancing, and oh, it was so romantic, my God. But let me leave it there before I end up single on Valentine's Day.
Hey John, I'm so relieved to hear that I'm not the only one who's been dreaming about my ex. Sure, for a minute I thought I was bewitched or something.
Well, let's just be absolutely clear. You're the only one dreaming about your ex. Because all these other people are not dreaming about your ex, I don't think. Although the other guy had 2 exes and he seems like he might be dreaming about 3 exes if he keeps up with that swoony tone talking about the dancing in the dream. Let's get back to our conversation with Flo Bird. Ms. Bird, welcome back. I hope we've got a